back to GK Today. I'm Nuzhat Sana and in this video we'll cover the current affairs. Before we move ahead, let me inform you that these questions are part of our Daily 20 MCQ series 2022 in GK Today's Android application. So if you are looking for the text version of these questions along with their explanations and interactive quiz, you may consider joining our Daily 20 MCQ series in GK Today Android application. So in this course in app, you get daily 20 MCQs, a fortnightly quiz, a monthly revision document, and also category-wise revision ebooks that are optimized for reading on mobile. You are also able to access all archives of questions from January 2020 onwards. So without taking much of your time, let's get started. Good morning everyone. Welcome back to GK Today. And today we'll be discussing most important MCQs for 7th of January 2022. Starting with very first question, SMILE scheme is to be implemented by which union ministry? First of all, what does SMILE stands for? It is Support for Marginalized Individuals for Livelihood and Enterprise. So this is an umbrella scheme being formulated by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. So it includes basically two sub-schemes for the transgender persons and persons who are engaged in begging. And the scheme will include rehabilitation, medical facilities, counseling, education, skill development and economic linkage. Okay. Now apart from it, the Department of Telecommunications under the Ministry of Communication has constituted 6 task forces on 6G technology. And the task forces are headed by various academia from across the country directors of IIT Madras, IIT Kanpur, Indian Institute of Science, among others. Okay. So India is deploying 5G technology this year and the group will analyze the process and challenges in 6G. Okay. Now apart from it, Union Home Minister Amit Shah has asked all the states to form and notify a dedicated anti-narcotics task force in their respective jurisdictions, and the aim is to eradicate drug from the country. So as per the official notification, these task force can act as a narco coordination center secretariat at the state level. Fine. Now apart from it, Government of India's Department of Telecommunication has extended the duration of archiving all communication records, call detail records, exchange detail records and IP details by telecom companies from present 1 year to now 2 years. And the telecom companies shall maintain the record for 2 years for scrutiny by the government for security reasons. And also the telecom company may destroy the data stored if there is no further directions from Department of Telecommunication. So this news already we have covered in the previous lectures. If you want to cover more depth, you can refer to it. Okay. Now you have to tell me which ministry has recently proposed some strict norms in the insolvency and bankruptcy code. Please write your answers in the comment section. Question number 2. What is the existing annual income limit for identification of economically weaker section? So after the recommendation by the 3-member committee, the center has decided to continue with the existing annual income limit of 8 lakh rupees for identification of economically weaker section. And the Supreme Court raised doubts over the 10% quota while dealing with NEET PG admissions, and the center set up the committee to revisit the income limit of EWS quota, and the committee comprised former Union Finance Secretary Mr. Ajay Bhushan Pandey among others. Fine. Now apart from it, India's current account balance posted a deficit of $9.6 billion in the second quarter that ended on September 2021. So basically it forms 1.3% of the country's GDP, and the current account was in surplus $6.6 billion, that is 0.9% of GDP in the first quarter that was ended on June 2021. So as per the RBI, the current account deficit, that is CAD, was mainly due to widening of trade gap and increase in outgo of investment income. Okay. Now apart from it, the world's population is projected to be 7.8 billion people as on New Year Day of 2022.
according to the US Census Bureau. So this represents an increase of 74 million people, or you can say 0.9% growth rate from New Year's Day 2021. And yes, China remained the world's most populous country with 1.4 billion people, and India would overtake China by the year 2025. Okay. Now apart from it, according to the data from Center for Monitoring Indian Economy, India's unemployment rate reached a 4-month high of 7.91% in the month of December. And this is compared to the rates of 7% and 7.75% in the month of November and October respectively. Do remember that the unemployment rate was at its highest in the month of August with 8.3%, and the urban and rural employment rate rose to 9.3% and 7.28% respectively. And the rise in unemployment was due to muted economic activity and consumer sentiment due to the Omicron variant. Okay. You have to tell me, CORPAT is the exercise between which two countries? Question number 3. Which institution appointed the technical committee to look into the Pegasus malware issue? So obviously the Supreme Court of India appointed the technical committee to look into this problem, and the technical committee issued a public notice that asked the citizens to contact the panel if they suspected that their mobile devices are infected by Pegasus malware. And the committee would request the person to allow examination of the device if reasonable. Okay. Now last year we have seen that Supreme Court held that the governor can pardon the prisoners even before they have completed 14 years of prison sentence. So this power of governor now overrides a provision given under section 433A of Code of Criminal Procedure, which basically mandates that the sentence of prisoner can be remitted only after 14 years of jail. Okay. Do remember that Article 161 provides the governor of a state with power to grant pardon, reprieve, respite or remit punishment of any person convicted of any offence against the law. Okay. Then also we have seen that Supreme Court has rejected a plan by central government to postpone the entry of women into NDA till May 2022. Then also we have seen that Supreme Court has ruled that Indian Railway must pay compensation to the passengers if train run late, and hence Indian Railway has to pay a compensation of 30,000 rupees to a man who misses his flight because of delay. Okay. Also do remember that 29th of September is observed as World Heart Day, and the theme for 2021 was Use Heart to Connect. Then on 28th of September we observe World Rabies Day, and theme for last year was Rabies, Facts Not Fear. You have to tell me, when do we observe World Tourism Day? And also don't forget to write the theme for 2021. Please write your answers in the comments. Question number 4. Nodirbek Abdusattorov, the youngest ever world rapid chess champion, is from which country? So he is from Uzbekistan, and recently he became the youngest ever world rapid chess champion at the age of 17 years and 3 months. Now who is the 71st Grandmaster of India? It is Sankalp Gupta, and 72nd Grandmaster of India is Mitrabha Guha. Mitrabha Guha belong to Kolkata. And you have to tell me from which state Sankalp Gupta belonged to. Now apart from it, Novak Djokovic has recently been named as Best Balkan Athlete of the Year for a record 7th time. And Novak Djokovic belonged to Serbia. Then the BRICS New Development Bank announced that it will add Egypt as its new member, and Egypt is the 4th new member admitted to NDB after Bangladesh, UAE and Uruguay. Okay. And also do remember that Indonesia is set to ratify its membership of Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership in 2022. Then the statue of Cristiano Ronaldo has been unveiled recently in Panaji, Goa, to motivate the young generation towards sports. And this is the very first time that the statue of Ronaldo has been installed in India. And he belonged to Portugal. Fine. Question number 5. Which Indian company has commissioned India's largest solar power project at Rajasthan? So Indian solar power producer Azure Power has fully commissioned its largest project, which is a 600 megawatt solar park in the state of Rajasthan. So the independent power producer now owns and operates India's largest solar power project at a single location, and the solar park is located in Bikaner and is connected to the interstate transmission system. So it will supply its power to Solar Energy Corporation of India over 25 years. Okay. Now talking about Solar Energy Corporation of India, it was also in news because recently it has invited for bids to install a 1000 megawatt hour battery energy storage system. And this is in line with Government of India's vision of producing 450 gigawatt renewable energy by the year 2030 and achieve the Sustainable Development Goal. It works under Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, and this is a central public sector unit. Okay. Now also in the month of November, I think we have seen that Germany has launched world's first self-driving, or you can say automated driverless train in the Hamburg city. And this was a part of $70 million Digital Rail Germany modernization plan. Now apart from it, at the recently conducted COP26 summit in Glasgow, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has announced that India would increase the installed capacity of renewable energy to 500 gigawatt by the year 2030. So basically it has increased this target to 50 units more. Okay. Until now, India has been able to achieve only 1/4 of this particular target. Okay. Now you have to tell me, all the leaders of COP26 summit have agreed to reverse deforestation by which year? Please write your answers in the comments. Question number 6. Who is the head of the Energy Transition Advisory Committee which was recently set up? So the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas has set up Energy Transition Advisory Committee headed by former Petroleum Secretary Tarun Kapoor. And the panel includes representatives of all public sector oil and gas companies, and it will create energy transition roadmap for the oil and gas sector. So India has committed for net zero emissions by the year 2070, and the committee will recommend a transition roadmap by middle of 2022. Okay. Now apart from it, Sabah Al-Khalid Al-Sabah is the new Prime Minister of Kuwait. And this is the third cabinet of Kuwait in recent times after the previous governments resigned in the standoff. Then also we have seen that Gabriel Boric recently became the youngest president of Chile. Then V.S. Pathania takes over as Director General of Indian Coast Guard. Also, Vinay Kumar Tripathi has been appointed as new Chairman and CEO of Railway Board. Then Mr. Baldev Prakash has been appointed as MD and CEO of Jammu and Kashmir Bank, while MD and CEO of Equitas Small Finance Bank, Mr. Vasudevan PN, has recently been reappointed. Okay. Also do remember that Vikram Mishri has been appointed as Deputy National Security Advisor. And Radhika Jha is our new CEO of Energy Efficiency Services. Okay. Can you tell me who are the brand ambassadors of Ease My Trip that have been made recently? Question number 7. Which is the first state or union territory to have district level good governance index? So Jammu and Kashmir is set to become the first union territory to have a district level good governance index, and the Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances will carry out this task in association with Jammu and Kashmir government. So the framework will have total 58 indicators to assess different aspects of development and district administration such as agriculture, commerce and industry, public safety, public health, etc. Okay. Now Jammu Kashmir was also in news because of Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine, which lies here, and it was in news because of an incident in which 12 pilgrims died and 16 were injured. Okay. Now apart from it, Index on Foundation Literacy and Numeracy has recently been released by Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister. And among the larger states category, West Bengal has topped the chart, while last was Bihar. And in small states, the top state was Kerala. Then among the Union Territory, the topper was Lakshadweep, And in the northeastern category, the top state was Mizoram. Okay. Then also recently, central government has issued Good Governance Index 2021, which has been prepared by Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, and Gujarat, Maharashtra and Goa have topped this particular list. In the northeastern category, Mizoram performed strongly, and among the union territory, Delhi emerged as the top union territory. Now also we have seen that Niti Aayog has recently released its fourth health index, in which Kerala has emerged as the top performer with respect to overall health performance among the larger states. And you have to tell me which state was at the last. Do let me know in the comments. Question number 8. The social reformer Savitri Bai Phule founded India's first girls' schools in which state? So social reformer Savitri Bai Phule was born on 3rd of January 1831 in the state of Maharashtra, and hence her birth anniversary was observed across the country recently. So in the year 1848, Savitri Bai Phule along with her husband Jyoti Rao Phule founded one of the India's first girls' school in Pune, Maharashtra, and also she became the first Indian woman to become a teacher. Also she opened women's shelter for widows and home for prevention of infanticide. Not only this, she strongly opposed child marriage and sati tradition. Okay. Now apart from it, Mumbai is set to host the first water taxi service in the country. And the service is expected to be formally launched in January by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And this project is a joint initiative of Mumbai Port Trust, City and Industrial Development Corporation and Maharashtra Maritime Board. Okay. Now apart from it, Maharashtra government tabled a report with recommendations of a joint selection committee to amend the Shakti Bill. So under this, it proposes to increase the punishment for offences such as rapes, acid attacks, and also it proposes capital heavy fines and speedy trial for the perpetrators. Also we have seen that Saryu Regional Water Supply Project is being implemented in Mumbai, which will provide 403 million litres per day water supply to two of the municipal corporations at the western sub-region of Mumbai, and the project is expected to be completed in phases till the year 2023. Question number 9. How many women MPs are present in the parliamentary panel which was set up to examine the prohibition of child marriage amendment bill? So do remember that Sushmita Dev is the only woman in the 31-member panel committee assigned to examine the prohibition of child marriage amendment bill. And it seeks to raise the legal age of marriage from 18 years to now 21 years. And at present, the minimum age of marriage for men is 21 and for women is obviously 18 years. So the proposal to increase the marriage age of women was recommended by the Niti Aayog task force, which was headed by Jaya Jaitley. So correct answer is option number A. Now apart from it, India has recently appealed against the ruling of World Trade Organization's Trade Dispute Settlement Panel. And the disputed rules said that the country's domestic support measures for sugar and sugarcane are inconsistent with the global trade norms. Headquarters of WTO lies in Geneva, Switzerland. Now apart from it, the Union Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has notified the latest amendments to the Environment Protection Act. And as per the notification, all coal and lignite-based thermal power plants should utilize 100% fly ash in an environment-friendly manner for making construction sector products. And this aims to reduce the requirement of land for disposing fly ash in ash ponds. Okay. Now coming to last question, researchers at which institution has developed 5th generation microwave absorbers? So professor and research scholar Department of Physics at Kerala University have developed 5G microwave absorbers which can be used as an effective shield against electromagnetic radiation. So the electromagnetic interference is known to be dangerous to the health of living organisms, and also it affects the high-end electronic devices. So they used new shielding material named as neonite electride for microwave absorption in high frequency region. Okay. Now apart from it, the Prime Minister of Sudan, Abdullah Hamdok, announced his resignation amid political deadlock and widespread pro-democracy protest. And as part of an agreement with the military after the October coup, Hamdok was appointed as the Prime Minister. But now the military coup has again hindered the country's transition to democratic rule. Okay. Now apart from all these things, do remember that Kerala University of Fisheries and Ocean Studies has been chosen to join a research project under a NASA-ISRO collaborative project. So as we know that NASA and ISRO have been jointly developing a space-borne synthetic aperture radar, also known as NISAR project, which will be launched in January 2023. So NISAR will provide a high-resolution data for large areas with capability for systematic observation of Earth resources, and also it will provide time series data for ecosystems and applications. Okay. Now you have to tell me, Parker Solar Probe is related to which organization? Please write your answers in the comments. Now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions. And at the end of the lecture, do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked this session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, me Nuzhat Sana signing off.